On the border, the choice is simple. Kamala Harris supports increasing the number of Border Patrol agents. Donald Trump blocked a bill to increase the number of Border Patrol agents. Kamala Harris supports investing in new technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Donald Trump blocked funding for technology to block fentanyl from entering the country. Kamala Harris supports spending more money to stop human traffickers. Donald Trump blocked money to stop human traffickers. Kamala Harris prosecuted transnational gang members and got them sentenced to prison. Trump is trying to avoid being sentenced to prison. There's two choices in this election: the one who will fix our broken immigration system and the one who's trying to stop her.
I wanted to start with that campaign ad from Kamala Harris for a couple of reasons, but the first is that in the wake of the DNC, MAGA is absolutely in shambles because they not only can't land a talking point against Kamala Harris, but any attempt that they do try to message in any sort of substantive way, anytime they try to talk about policy, it's only been getting flipped around on them and blowing up in Donald Trump's face. And such a perfect example of that comes with the border. Republicans thought that they were going to be able to win on this issue, but it has been flipped on Trump because Kamala Harris has been calling out Donald Trump in such an incredible way, and so have the rest of her surrogates, for tanking the bipartisan border deal. And so this narrative has been flipped on Donald Trump's head, especially with Kamala Harris's record as a prosecutor, prosecuting criminals who came across the border, showing that she actually has a record of successful experience securing the border, where Donald Trump did nothing to do that during his presidency. And we know he doesn't care about solving the issue. He just wants to run on it. And so it's not just been Donald Trump, but MAGA at large, and especially the folks at the Fox propaganda outlet who have been getting called out for trying to push these lies, because, again, they are so ridiculous. And the specific Trump stooge, the specific MAGA Fox host who got the worst of it, really, was Sean Hannity, who had, for some reason, James Carville on his show, who just humiliated him. What a shocking decision by Sean there. But I want to check out this whole clip of James Carville calling out Sean Hannity and really all of MAGA for their lies about the border.
Illegal immigration at this level, and I believe it's a clear and present danger for you, for your family, for your children, and we're rewarding that illegal immigration behavior, and it's wreaking havoc. What do you say to Laken Riley's family? What do you say to Rachel Moore and the mother of five's family? What do you say to Jocelyn Nungary's family? I interviewed her mom and her granddad on my program right here, and they lost their 12-year-old little girl in Houston, and it was killed by one of Harris and Biden's unvetted illegal immigrants. What do you say to them, James? You love your children.
I don't know. I would have great difficulty, as anyone would have great difficulty telling the parents in Uvalde, how were your children slaughtered with a lethal weapon that no one has any need to have?
You're changing the topic.
To the people in Buffalo.
They'd be alive if we secured the border.
If the border had nothing to do with Uvalde.
They entered the country with open borders.
The border had nothing to do with. Again, the border had nothing to do with this. Please fact check me. Please fact check me. The border had nothing to do with these mass shootings with these AR-15s. We all have difficult questions that we have to ask. Anybody can say that. We can sit in the peanut gallery and throw peanuts. But I do think we can have, I think border crossings right now are about the same as they were when President Biden took office. Was there I think ineffective boarding policy at one time? Yes, because they did what I said. You showed me saying at the beginning of the show. When you listen to these, quote, identity progressive left-wingers, it always leads to bad policy. But right now, when you look at the Senator Langford and Senator Murphy's plan, that was negotiated, and Donald Trump killed it. That's a fact. Y'all can fact check me.
Donald Trump killed the plan. That plan, to be clear, would not have been implemented unless a few million people crossed the border on any given day, and then it would be discretionary. They wouldn't have to even implement the plan. That's not a border security plan. Let me ask you this.
Okay.
So, all right, you're supporting Harris and Walz. Tell me why. I want you to answer two questions. I want you to answer, is America better off than it was 4 years ago? Number one. Number two, I want you to tell me specifically, no distractions, no obfuscations, what has Kamala Harris done as vice president that warrants a promotion.
Well, let me say this. It's demonstrably better off than it was 4 years ago.
And it wasn't just Sean Hannity getting called out there by James Carville. We've seen James Carville all over town, really. He appeared last night on Bill Maher's show and shut down Republican Congressman and Trump stooge Dan Crenshaw, who is not only lying about the bipartisan border deal and his support for it, which he eventually took back because Donald Trump told him to take the bill with a bunch of his Republican friends, fellow Trump stooges doing so, but talked about the successes of the Biden administration, the Biden-Harris administration on securing the border. He completely lied about it. And I want to watch all of that because Bill Maher actually did take a really great shot at Donald Trump too in this clip. So let's check it out. Absolute nonsense there. Complete lies from Dan Crenshaw. And it's not shocking that MAGA is refusing to tell the truth, but it does give us the great opportunity that we will always take on this show to point out their lies. Dan Crenshaw said, "Oh, I never supported the bill. I was always against it on principle, no matter what, from the second I heard about it." Well, that's not true. And the person who will be disproving that is Dan Crenshaw from a couple months ago.
I'm extremely disappointed in the very strange maneuvering by many on the right to torpedo a potential border reform bill. If we have a bill that, on net, significantly decreases illegal immigration, and we sabotage that, that is inconsistent with what we told our voters we would do. People will make up whatever reasons they want to. There's a number of them, I'm sure. But it would be a pretty unacceptable dereliction of your duty.
Dan Crenshaw, we know you're a liar. We have the receipts. You actually, in fact, have the receipts. They're your words. And this is going to be an issue that will continue to pop up for Republicans throughout the rest of this election season, which is, again, so funny because they thought this was their golden ticket. They thought this was their winning issue. But, of course, it is not because you have already said so much damaging stuff, MAGA. Donald Trump told us to blame him for the killing of the bipartisan border deal. And by the way, border crossings are actually significantly down to levels that are, at some points during the Trump presidency, much lower. So now border crossings are lower than points in the Trump presidency, and MAGA really has nothing to say. Another losing issue that I am so excited to talk about, and we are going to continue to talk about the losing issues of MAGA on this show. And if you want to support us, make sure to hit that subscribe button, to leave a like on this video. And if you want to go another step further in supporting this channel, you can click that join button, become a monthly member. The support really goes a long way and means the world to me. And until next time, I'll see you soon.